If you're in Australia waiting for your next visa to be processed, you've probably come across the term bridging visa. It sounds technical, but it's actually pretty simple. It's the visa that keeps you lawful while your next one is being decided. Think of it as the bridge between your old visa and your new one. Now, here's where things can get confusing, because not all bridging visas are the same. Most people who apply for a new visa while their current one is still valid will automatically get what's called a bridging visa A. That one lets you stay in Australia lawfully while you wait, and usually keeps the same work rights that you had before. But here's the catch: you can't travel. The moment you leave Australia, that visa basically stops working. So if you think you'll need to travel, there's another option, the bridging visa B. That's the one that gives you permission to leave Australia and come back within a set time frame. It's perfect if you've got family overseas, a work trip, or any reason to step out of the country while your new visa is still under process. But you need to plan for it. You can't just decide to leave at the airport. Then there's the situation where your visa has already expired before you apply for a new one. In that case, you might be granted a bridging visa C. It still keeps you lawful, but work rights can be limited, and traveling overseas isn't allowed. Some other types, like bridging D or E, are even more restrictive and mostly apply in specific situations where you've become unlawful or are finalizing your departure plans. Now, one of the first things everyone wants to know is, can I work while I'm on a bridging visa? And the answer really depends on what you held before, what visa you've applied for, and what subclass of bridging visa you're on. For example, if you were a student moving to a post-study visa, chances are you'll be allowed to keep working as usual. But if your previous visa didn't let you work, like a visitor visa, then your bridging visa probably won't either, unless you apply for special permission and can show that you're facing financial hardship. Travel is another big one. Except for the bridging B, you really shouldn't plan to leave the country. If you do, the visa you leave on will stop the moment you depart, and your pending visa application might be affected. So the golden rule is, always get a BVB before booking any flights. Here's something a lot of people don't realize. Even though you're on a bridging visa, your visa conditions still matter, especially when it comes to health insurance. If your previous visa required you to maintain coverage under condition 8501, like a student or a temporary work visa, you still need to keep that policy active. It doesn't automatically stop being your responsibility. Letting your OSHC or OVHC lapse could actually count as a breach, which can create problems for your future visa applications. People also ask how long a bridging visa lasts, and the answer is, there isn't a fixed expiry date. It lasts until your new visa is granted, refused, or withdrawn. If your new visa is refused, the bridging visa might continue for a short period, usually around 35 days, to give you time to make arrangements or appeal. And when you're trying to figure out exactly what kind of bridging visa you have or what your rights are, the best place to check is your grant letter or VEVO. It will list your visa subclass and all the conditions attached, whether you can work, study, or travel. In some cases, people can study while on a bridging visa, especially if they were already studying on their previous visa. But again, this isn't the same for everyone, so it's important to confirm the exact conditions that apply to you. The bottom line? A bridging visa might sound temporary, but it plays a huge role in keeping your immigration status clean. It allows you to live, work, and study legally in Australia while you wait for the next chapter, but only if you understand its limits. You can't treat it as a do-whatever-you-want visa. Travel carefully, follow your conditions, keep your insurance active, and make sure you know when it ends. At Aussizz Group, we've helped thousands of migrants manage this exact stage, from student to skilled worker, from temporary to permanent. So if you're ever unsure about what your bridging visa allows, or what steps to take next, don't leave it to guesswork. Speak to a registered migration agent and make sure your pathway stays on track. Thanks for listening. And remember, even though it's called a bridging visa, it's not just about waiting. It's about staying compliant and ready for the next step in your Australian journey.